G-Shock has built a legendary reputation for making tough, reliable watches that can survive anything you throw at them. But not every G-Shock is worth the money, especially when you start climbing into premium price territory. Some models look absolutely stunning with luxury materials and high-tech features, but when you break down what you actually get for your money, the value just isn't there. These watches might turn heads and make you feel like $1,000,000, but they come with price tags that make your wallet cry without delivering proportional performance or practicality. Today, we're counting down 10 G-Shock watches that look expensive because they are expensive, but honestly aren't worth your hard-earned cash when better options exist. Number 10. Casio G-Shock MRG Series. Starting at number 10 is the entire MRG series, G-Shock's absolute premium line that can cost anywhere from $3,000 to $7,000. These watches are gorgeous with titanium construction, sapphire crystals, and traditional Japanese finishing techniques that create stunning aesthetics. The problem is you're paying luxury watch prices for what's still fundamentally a quartz digital watch. Yes, it's tough and beautiful, but at this price point you're competing with actual Swiss luxury brands that offer mechanical movements and better resale value. The MRG watches are incredibly well made, but the cost is driven more by limited production and premium materials than actual functionality you can't get elsewhere. Most G-Shock fans buy these watches for prestige rather than utility. For the same money, you could buy 5 or 6 excellent mid-range G-Shocks that do everything the MRG does practically. The craftsmanship is undeniable, but unless you're a serious collector with money to burn, this series represents poor value compared to G-Shock's more affordable offerings that are equally tough. Number 9. Casio G-Shock MTG Series. At number 9, we have the MTG Series, which sits right below MRG in the pricing hierarchy, but still costs between $500 and $1,500. These watches feature metal construction combined with resin for shock absorption, and they look undeniably premium with polished and brushed finishes. The issue is you're entering territory where the MTG competes with quality automatic watches from respected brands. The MTG offers solar charging, atomic timekeeping, and Bluetooth connectivity, which sounds impressive until you realize cheaper G-Shocks have identical features. What you're really paying for is the metal construction and refined aesthetics, but those don't make the watch functionally better for actual use. The weight increases significantly compared to resin models, making them less comfortable for extended wear during physical activities. The pricing feels inflated when you consider that the core G-Shock durability comes from the shock-resistant structure, not expensive materials. Many users report that after the initial excitement wears off, they return to wearing their simpler, lighter G-Shocks for daily use. Number 8. Casio G-Shock GWG 2000 Mudmaster. Coming in at number 8 is the GWG 2000 Mudmaster, a watch that costs around $800 to $1,000 depending on the specific variant. This is a fantastic watch with carbon core guard construction, quad sensor technology, and exceptional mud resistance that actually works. The problem isn't quality, but value proposition. The previous generation Mudmaster models offer nearly identical functionality for $300 to $400 less. Yes, the GWG 2000 is lighter and has better sensors, but those improvements don't justify doubling the price for most users. The carbon construction is impressive, but in real-world use, the older models survive the same conditions just fine. You're paying a premium for incremental improvements that sound great on paper but don't dramatically change your actual experience. The smartphone connectivity is nice but not essential. For serious outdoor enthusiasts, the older Mudmaster or even the Rangeman delivers similar capability at a fraction of the cost. Unless you absolutely need the latest technology and lightest weight, this model represents poor value compared to older alternatives. Number 7. Casio G-Shock Billionaire Boys Club DW5600 Collab. At number 7, we have the Billionaire Boys Club Collaboration DW5E600, a limited edition watch that retails for around $300 but often sells for much more on the secondary market. This is literally a standard DW5600 with special colorways and BBC branding added. The base watch costs around $50 to $80 normally. You're paying a massive premium purely for the collaboration name and limited availability. The functionality is identical to the basic model with no upgrades whatsoever. The special packaging and collectible box are nice, but don't change what you're actually wearing on your wrist. Many collaboration watches follow this pattern where you pay triple or quadruple the price for cosmetic changes only. If you love the Billionaire Boys Club brand and want this specific aesthetic, that's fine. But objectively, this represents terrible value. The watch will perform identically to a basic DW5600. Unless you're a serious collector who treats watches as art pieces, skip this and buy the standard version. Number 6. Casio G-Shock Hodinkee DW5600 Edition. Number 6 is another collaboration trap, the Hodinkee DW5600 Edition that originally sold for around $180 but now commands much higher prices. This collaboration with the famous watch blog features subtle color changes and special packaging. Like the BBC collab, you're buying a standard DW5600 with cosmetic modifications. Hodinkee fans love this watch, but it offers zero functional advantages over the base model. The color scheme is tasteful and understated, which some people appreciate, but you're still paying double or triple for aesthetics alone. These limited editions create artificial scarcity that drives prices up without adding real value. The watch sold out quickly, making people think it must be special, but removing the hype reveals it's just an overpriced standard model. If you genuinely prefer this specific color combination and found it at retail price, fine. But paying inflated secondary market prices makes no financial sense. Buy a regular DW5600 and save your money for a watch with actual upgraded features. Number 5. Casio G-Shock GMW B5000 Full Metal Square. At number 5 is the GMW B5000 Full Metal Square, a watch that costs between $500 and $700. This is the iconic square G-Shock reimagined in full stainless steel or titanium construction. It looks absolutely beautiful with polished and brushed finishing that rivals luxury watches. The problem is, you lose what makes G-Shock special in the first place. The all-metal construction means reduced shock resistance compared to resin models. The weight increases significantly, making it uncomfortable for long wear. You're paying for aesthetics and materials while sacrificing the practical advantages of traditional G-Shock design. The solar charging and Bluetooth are nice, but cheaper models have those features too. This watch appeals to people who want G-Shock credibility with dressy looks, but it compromises the tool watch philosophy that made G-Shock famous. The screwback case and metal bracelet feel premium, but they don't make the watch more useful for actual tough conditions. Many owners report this becomes a desk watch rather than a daily beater, which defeats the purpose. Number 5. Casio G-Shock GMW B5000 Full Metal Square. At number 5 is the GMW B5000 Full Metal Square, a watch that costs between $500 and $700. This is the iconic square G-Shock reimagined in full stainless steel or titanium construction. It looks absolutely beautiful with polished and brushed finishing that rivals luxury watches. The problem is, you lose what makes G-Shock special in the first place. The all-metal construction means reduced shock resistance compared to resin models. The weight increases significantly, making it uncomfortable for long wear. You're paying for aesthetics and materials while sacrificing the practical advantages of traditional G-Shock design. The solar charging and Bluetooth are nice, but cheaper models have those features too. This watch appeals to people who want G-Shock credibility with dressy looks, but it compromises the tool watch philosophy that made G-Shock famous. The screwback case and metal bracelet feel premium, but they don't make the watch more useful for actual tough conditions. Many owners report this becomes a desk watch rather than a daily beater, which defeats the purpose. Number 3. Casio G-Shock GW5000U1JF Titanium Square. At number 3, we have the GW5000U1JF, a Japanese domestic market square G-Shock with titanium caseback that costs around $400. This is essentially a DW5600 with screwback construction and titanium upgrades. Yes, the build quality is exceptional with better finishing than standard models. The problem is you're paying 4 times more for improvements that don't significantly change daily use experience. The screwback case provides slightly better water resistance, but the standard models are already rated to 200 meters, which is more than sufficient. The titanium caseback is lighter and won't corrode, but the resin body surrounding it is identical to cheaper models. The module inside is the same as other square G-Shocks. You're essentially paying for premium materials and Japanese domestic market exclusivity. For collectors who appreciate subtle quality improvements, this might be worth it, but most users would be equally happy with a standard GW M5610 that costs $100. The value proposition is weak unless you specifically prioritize refined construction over practical functionality. Number 2. Casio G-Shock Rangeman GPR H1000. Taking the number 2 spot is the Rangeman GPR H1000, an advanced GPS navigation watch that costs around $800. This watch includes GPS tracking, heart rate monitoring, and advanced navigation features that sound incredible. The problem is battery life suffers dramatically when using GPS functions, requiring frequent charging that defeats G-Shock's usual set-it-and-forget-it reliability. The GPS functionality is impressive, but unnecessary for most users who have smartphones with better mapping capabilities. The heart rate monitor is less accurate than dedicated fitness trackers costing a fraction of the price. You're paying for features that drain the battery quickly and don't integrate well with G-Shock's core strengths. The watch is bulky and heavy compared to standard Rangeman models that cost half as much. Most users report rarely using the GPS features after the initial novelty wears off. For the price, you could buy a standard Rangeman plus a dedicated GPS unit and have better performance from both. Unless you specifically need GPS in a G-Shock for specialized work, this represents poor value. Number 1. Casio G-Shock Frogman GWF A1000. Finally, at number 1 is the GWF A1000 Frogman, costing around $1,000 or more. This is G-Shock's premier dive watch with depth sensor, dive log, and ISO certification for serious diving. It looks amazing with carbon monocoque case construction and analog digital display. The problem is very few people actually need these features. Professional divers use dedicated dive computers that cost less and provide better functionality. The Frogman is water-resistant to 200 meters like most G-Shocks despite costing 10 times more. The analog hands add complexity and potential failure points. The depth sensor and dive log features are impressive but unnecessary for recreational swimmers and snorkelers. You're paying for specialized capability you'll probably never use. The asymmetric case design looks cool but makes the watch awkward on smaller wrists. Previous Frogman models offer similar dive capability for $300 to $500 less. Unless you're a professional diver who refuses to use standard dive computers, this watch represents massive overkill and poor value for money.